Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we're returning to Panzer Corps II, a new game out by Flashback Games and published by Slytherin. This is the second part of our Battle of Kiev, the Kiev Pocket. We won the Battle of Barbarossa and the drive on Smolensk. We took that city, and now we've moved on to the Kiev Pocket, which is the German Army Group Center diverting south to deal with a pocket of about 500,000 soldiers surrounded near Kiev. This battle is a little bit different than a lot of the other battles in this game, where our objective is actually to wipe out the enemy army, not to take any particular objectives. And so we can't leave a single Soviet Union unit left on the field. We're 11 turns, about to be into the 12th turn, so a little bit less than halfway through the battle. We've already destroyed more than half the enemy army, 46 of 88 units, but we've kind of spent ourselves. We have a lot of very understrength units now. We're being forced to replace our losses with inexperienced troops, which means the bulk of our units are seeing, 2 to 3 star units drop down to 1 or less star units because we have to keep sacrificing experience for firepower, and that's having a very detrimental impact on our ability to fight the war. We're probably getting a little bit over-aggressive down here south near Mirograd because there's a lot of Soviet troops around here, and I've advanced my units pretty aggressively against them, despite the fact that they're largely under-strength and under-supported. As well as near Chereskey, we keep trying to move across the river, and the Soviets keep giving us a bloody nose. The units here are now completely green, and that is telling when we go and try and engage the Soviets. Additionally, the one thing we have at our advantage is air power. We've completely wiped out the Soviet Air Force as far as I'm aware, and that is now a big advantage for us. We've nearly destroyed an anti-tank gun entirely just with strafing attacks from fighters of ours, so we've had quite a bit of success there. But that's the situation as we come to a close on turn number 11. I'm going to go ahead and hit the end turn button. We'll see what the Soviets have in store for us. Undoubtedly, it will be more crazy aggressive attacks that will continue to sap our strength. You can see here artillery strikes already against the Panzer II-C here. You can see infantry moving forward here against this recon car. The recon car doing a good job of giving a good showing of itself on the first attack, but then the second attack is even odds, and they just keep getting bloodied. The Soviets have far more strength or units than we do, and it's really kind of starting to bite us. You can see here an armored car engagement that we had an even exchange. Then they move a very heavy tank unit forward, drive our panzers back, nearly destroy them, and now we're going to have to spend the bulk of our reinforcements this turn on some armor down here. It looks like there's a KV-2 coming out of Kiev. Fortunately for us, it is in range of our Stuka, so we can fly the Stuka down here and pound it pretty good. Meanwhile, this enemy armored unit over here, this KV-140, is in range of our BF-110, so we can move it down here to strafe. And then we can see it didn't quite destroy it. So again, remember the objective is to destroy enemy units. Let's move these recon cars down here to finish off this 5th regular infantry unit of the Soviets. We destroy him. We'll go ahead and attack this Soviet armored unit with the units that we can. At the very least, they're gaining experience, even if they're not actually driving the enemy back. We'll drive south here, try and knock this guy out. Okay, nice. So our armor finished this enemy tank off. Now we can drive north here after we overrun it, because the armor gets to move twice when they overrun, and badly shoot up this enemy anti-tank or anti-aircraft unit. I'm going to hold those armor units in place. I'm going to move this infantry unit over here to finish off the anti-aircraft unit. And I'm going to try and reinforce as much as I can. I need to shift some of my air units south to this new airbase at Konotop. So we'll do that. We already moved our tactical air units, so we can't really reinforce everybody, or rebase everybody. 120. So the armor on the left flank has basically no experience. I'll spend 180 to get them back to nearly full strength. And then another however many points reinforcing this armor over here. We'll bombard that armor in an effort to slow it down primarily. Alright, we'll advance down here and take this airfield near Prialuk, if only to make these pioneers the target of whatever enemy counterattack comes. Actually, I didn't realize there were pioneers at the time. That was kind of foolish. Pioneers are pretty weak. Move those recon cars forward. Alright, so the goal at this point for me is to take Prialuk here in the middle to kind of... essentially what I want to do is drive straight through the right side of the map, so I'm going to leave a few forces here that are going to block the troops in Kiev, because that's going to be a tricky operation to reduce then. And then I'm going to shift the bulk of these rest of these forces into Prialuk and sweep them east to try and flank and destroy all the Soviet troops in here from Prialuk to Sumy. That's going to be the objective there. Some of these units are frankly too weak to do much. We do have this air unit here is gonna... Let's actually do this. Can we split this guy? Alright, so we're gonna split... The first half is gonna go here and strafe and finish off this anti-tank unit, and they do. Second unit can't quite reach the guys over here on the east, so they're gonna go ahead and strafe this 76mm. Inflict some heavy casualties on it. Meanwhile, our recon car is going to continue attacking this enemy artillery. I'd like to swap these guys. Hi, Emanation. Thanks for the follow. By the way, let me know in the chat, guys, if you can hear me okay. We'll swap these two. We'll have our armor finish off this enemy anti-tank gun. It's now good for an overrun, so we'll have our artillery bombard these guys. Our armor here is going to attack this infantry. Drive them back. Our infantry will attack these Soviet troops. Get a pretty good result there and then pull south. So I think we've damaged several of these enemy units substantially. My soothing, historic voice. Thanks, Griffin. Alright. And then I think we'll move our anti-tank guns here around the flank of the city and go after the enemy anti-tank guns. Nice! 5-0 there on that attack. So next turn we can bombard Mirograd, the infantry there that are surrounded. Hopefully finish off this enemy anti-tank gun. I'm going to swap these guys too, because I don't think these Soviet engineers are going to attack our recon car, but I just want to minimize my weaker units' exposure to the enemy. Also, we do have this fighter squadron over here. So we'll go ahead and strafe these anti-tank guns. And we've nearly destroyed these guys. Actually, they're artillery pieces, sorry. Can I move these guys again? No, doesn't look like it. Okay. Meanwhile, on the other flank, 3-2 all around for those 12s. We'll hold those 12s as is for the moment. Get 2 reinforcements there, 2 there. 4 for those guys. The 3rd Ver Infantry, though, is such a good unit. 3 stars. 3 full stars. These guys are so elite. Alright, we'll spend it on that armored unit. And we'll move forward to turn number 13. So we'll see the enemy infantry moves on our anti-tank, anti-aircraft combo units. They actually did pretty good for themselves. 3-2 on the defensive. I was pretty happy with that. Again, 3-2 on the defensive there. So they're bloodying those Soviet troops pretty effectively. So these troops in the south are giving a good account of themselves. The pioneers in the north, not so much. The enemy KVs encircled and battered our recon car. Meanwhile, some BT-7s move forward and attack our artillery. It's okay, they'll be in range of our air units there. And those guys moved forward and attacked our artillery again, but in a way that got themselves encircled. Which I don't really understand, but okay. We'll bombard there. Artillery did take a beating. Alright, so let's attack. We'll use our JUs against the BT-7s. Our 10s against the BA-10s. Then we'll swing our armor in here. Hopefully we'll finish off... Yes! So we finished off the enemy recon car. We get the overrun so then we can attack the enemy armor. And we forced them to surrender too. We got 2 birds with 1 stone, if you will. Nice. Very good result there. Our strategic bombers can swoop in here and bombard these KVs. I need to get these recon cars out of here. But we'll move the Panzer IIIs forward here against these completely suppressed enemy KVs. Drive them back. These engineers will pull back some because they are pretty exposed there. Move our recon car forward. And I'm going to spend some money reinforcing these guys too. Alright, then we'll move our infantry over here forward. I don't want them adjacent to the actual bunkers though. So we're consolidating near Perlicki. We'll have to deal with this Soviet strong point. But the KVs should be able to be finished off next turn. Let's go ahead and reinforce that artillery that got shot up a bit. Alright, now let's check the south before we move too far forward. So our air units, these guys are gonna... I think we can unsplit them. I don't know how. Oh, shit. I didn't want to do that. I want them to merge, but I also don't want them to lose their move. So we'll do this. We'll move the 10 up here to go after these anti-tank guns. We'll move the 9 to strafe these infantry on the other side of the bridge. Then we'll attack across the bridge. We'll move our other infantry forward here, and hopefully we can finish off this 25th Soviet regular unit next turn. Meanwhile, at Mirograd, we'll bombard. Alright, we'll attack these enemy guns. Realistically, I think we'll need to bombard again, probably, right? 1 to 1, 1 to 2. Nice, we drove them out. So our armor can move in there to retake the city. Our anti-tank guns will move out ahead of them to kind of shield them from counterattack, at least somewhat. Forgot about our fighters down here. I think we'll go after these guys because they're not suppressed at all, and we can strafe them and do a little bit of damage. Recon in the center near Lokdevista. Still a fair number of troops here. Okay. We'll finish those Soviet engineers off next turn. Hopefully same as these regular troops. Maybe even this anti-tank gun. Meanwhile, the 3rd H Panzer, or got 58 prestige points. We'll use that on these Panzer IVs. All right, let's move these troops south, these slightly stronger troops south. Meanwhile, I really need to rebase my aircraft here. How much do they have over towards Sumi? Not actually that much over to the right flank. So the right portion of the map seems largely unoccupied. The bulk of the rest of the enemy troops have to be in and around Kiev. All right, we're moving our artillery. So all this artillery should be able to assist reducing these guys. And we'll move forward to turn number 14. And the infantry encircles and counterattacks our armor there. Nearly destroys them. This second attack might. Nope, not quite. Oh, but they surrendered. God damn it. You guys, you held on. You weren't even surrounded. That really bothers me. That whole mechanic is just so flawed. KV's attacking our armor again. Alright, let's do this. Let's have these guys strafe these infantry. Then we'll have this guy strafe the anti-tank guns. Infantry will attack. And these 12s will advance. They can't quite get there, but they can get across the river. Actually, these are grenadiers. That's nice. Bombard them. Oh, those Soviet engineers reinforced to 10? Like, they're not encircled. That's such a frustrating mechanic. Alright, so we destroyed that Soviet unit. We nearly destroyed this one. Alright. What? How? No! They're flanked, maybe, not surrounded. Ugh. Alright. So we destroyed those guys. The southern troops are getting attrited, but none of these are core units either, so I hate to be sort of mercenary about it, but their losses are less important than their ability to inflict losses on the enemy. Right, that KV came back up a little bit, but he's out of range. So since the Ju-87 can't hit anyone, we'll rebase it north. The BF-110 can strafe, so I do want help in reducing this enemy tank. So we'll move around this way, we'll encircle it. And we force it to surrender. Nice. And we capture some of the equipment. Very good. Okay, let's go ahead and bombard the shit out of this infantry. Alright, we get 1 to 3 with our recon troops. I don't actually want the recon troops to be adjacent of that fort because they're going to get strafed pretty bad. Or shot by those bunkers pretty bad. Let's do this. Let's go use our strategic bombers to hit these guys. Lessen the effect of the enemy counterattacks near Mirograd. You can see here quite a strong formation of enemy troops in and around Kiev. But that's really the bulk of their troops. That's not to say they don't have anything left. They obviously have 2 units here near Poltava. They've got a unit near Sumy, a unit to the west of Suvi. They've got units scattered in and around these areas. They just don't have a ton of them. All right, that armor's full strength. The second Ver will be full strength. Alright, we'll advance that guy. these guys are already 0, so we'll get them up to 10. That's not full strength, but it's close. So we're slowly advancing troops out of Konotop. Slowly. Alright, we'll move these PZs forward. We're also going to do everything we can to get all that artillery in range of that bunker. That recon car can swing around wide. So can this one. I'm worried these guys might get counterattacked and destroyed, but I'm going to take the risk to finish off, or to further damage, not finish off, but further damage this enemy infantry over there. And move wide with these troops and encircle this entire formation over here. And we force them to surrender. Very nice. So these guys hopefully will be easy to reduce. The enemy may counterattack. They may move their infantry from Luby or these infantry units near this river over here, the Dnieper, east to try and counterattack our recon cars. It is definitely a possibility, but we also have troops to their front, so I don't know how likely that is. Green Warber, I just started about 20 minutes ago. Pattons, thanks for the follow. That's mostly it for what I want to do this turn. I'll flank with that armor there and attack the enemy artillery. Okay. YouTube, I think there's one video ahead of this. So we fought the first battle of the first part of the Battle of Kiev. That hasn't gone on YouTube yet. This is the second half of that same battle. All right. Hey, Mexicans. Yeah, Kiev hasn't posted on the YouTube channel. It's the very next battle though that hasn't gone up. So, all right. So that's gonna do it for turn 14. We'll move forward to turn number 15 and see what happens. Right, so Pioneers are attacking. Whoa. Those Italian tanks are goners. Those Pioneers ravaged them. Lots of Soviet lots of Soviet artillery, anti-aircraft guns. Oh, those Italians survived. Okay. All right, let's bombard these guys. Attack. Again, I made the mistake not to strafe them, although it doesn't look like in this case it would have done much damage. Alright, so we strafe those guys into oblivion. They no longer exist. We'll attack these. Finished off that anti-tank gun unit. Okay. We'll strafe here. Alright, to finish him off? Or just force him to retreat? Yes! No! I thought we had him. Alright, so... any more air units we haven't used yet? I mean, we do, but I'm talking about in the south. Doesn't look like it. Okay, so we'll finish off these troops. Force them to surrender. Now we're going to go ahead and bombard the hell out of this bunker. Do we want to strategic bomb it or Stuka? The strategic doesn't look like it'll do anything. Stukas will, so we'll obviously go with the Stukas there. We have some Pioneers who can move forward here and attack without loss. The Fallschirmjägers can also, or Fallschirmjägers. Surprised they haven't actually surrendered. But we took it. We took the fort. There we go. Alright, so another victory. What are we at now? 62 out of 88 enemy units destroyed. So now we have almost linked up. We'll take that town. So we have now linked, for the most part, our southern troops and our northern troops. I'm actually going to reinforce these guys to near full strength. I'm going to reinforce these southern troops, not because Not because they're important, but because I need them to help reduce some of these additional forts. I can't afford to take more casualties. But I'm giving them green reinforcements because at the end of the day, they don't matter as much. Right, third bear. We'll give these guys experienced reinforcements. Move this armor out that way. Move our mechanized forces here. And I think we'll start bombing these guys with strategic bombers. Gonna race my artillery east to try and get in range to help reduce this fort. We'll have our armor approach Loch de Vista. Again, the enemy could come out of Kiev and counterattack our flank. We'll see. We still have enough troops near Purleki probably to prevent it. They also don't really have any mechanized forces that we can see over there. So that risk is lessened. So I'm hoping this is mostly mop-up stuff. I can't speak to the rest of the chat they gone, but I'm doing well. Okay. So, let's go. Enemy infantry's attacking those recon cars there that had just reinforced, but other than that, a very quiet turn for the Soviets there. So let's get our air units in action. Where can they do the most good? Doesn't actually look like they'll be able to do a whole lot of anything against anyone. What if we bombard these guys first? We'll bombard the Soviet engineers. Still nothing, huh? Well, might as well strafe them. Maybe that'll hurt their morale a little bit. We'll force them to retreat with infantry. We'll pursue them with anti-tank trucks. Pursue them with tanks. And finish them off. Nice. Overrun, but we can't actually get back up there in time. So we finished off that enemy unit. I'm going to swing these infantry west. I'm going to go ahead and continue strafing these enemy artillery pieces. This armor is going to come south here to deal with this enemy artillery. I'll swing the recon car west. We will move our infantry west. I'm not actually going to attack these guys, though, I don't think, right? So can our strategic bombers do some work for us? Yes. So they can reduce their entrenchment, or they can suppress them by 2. They can also help reduce their entrenchments, which makes them more attackable. Not exactly thrilled about taking those kind of losses. Actually, we didn't lose any casualties there. Well, no, 4-3. We did lose casualties there, but 3-0 there. So I'll take a 7-3 exchange. That's a pretty good result. We'll swing this armor in here. Can we finish this pocket off? Yes. Okay, so we force them to surrender. The infantry will be overrun next turn. Okay. So it's up to 64 enemy units. That means I have 24 left with 16 turns. We still have quite a bit of enemy troops we have to kill. Swing that unit north. So we'll get a 3-0 against their artillery. Okay. I should have used my Stuka against it. Alright, let's go ahead and bombard the hell out of this city. Can't get the artillery close enough there, but I can get it there. They gone? Thank you very much for the bits. Appreciate it, dude. Alright. Move these Stukas up. They can do a little bit of damage. We can now encircle the enemy. 3-6, huh? They're relatively experienced troops, but they're not super troops. Alright. Nice. We overran them successfully. So move these troops here. We'll take both the airfield and the city for 100 prestige. Now we can move south on Lokha. We need to move on Sumy. But those additional reinforcements allow me to reinforce the 5th Panzer to full strength with elite reinforcements. That was greatly desired. These troops are green. We'll go with a 5 for them. We are going to have to turn our sights on Kiev in the not too distant future, and I think I'm actually going to start doing that now. So some of my troops are going to swing west. We also have some fresh troops here on the other side of the river. All right, we'll also merge these units now back together. So that way I could move one and fight with one without fighting with both. All right, so we'll swing these guys over here and attack this artillery piece. Almost destroyed them. We'll swing around here and attack with the recon car. And we destroyed them. And we took the airfield. More prestige. Like a G-Man, thank you very much for the bits. Appreciate it. They gone, thank you for the bits. If you guys want to get in a bidding war, I'm okay with that. Every little bit helps, right? All right, so I think that's mostly good. These anti-tank can't receive reinforcements, or the anti-recon cars, whatever. They can't, neither can they. Okay. So I think that's going to do it for this turn. I'll just pocket that extra money for the next turn. So we'll go forward to turn number 17. Russian infantry continues to counterattack. They are just butchering these Italian tanks. If these Italian tanks are anywhere near a town, they melt. Alright, so they drove those troops out. They'll pursue. Nearly destroy. We'll finish them off with these guys. Alright, meanwhile, Locta Vista. Alright, our infantry will move in here. They're encircled. We'll get 2 to 5 on the infantry assault with the 2nd Ver. Our recon cars will pursue multiple times west. Keep running. Alright, so our armor finishes them off here. Unstoppable offensive, 4th Panzer 4F. Steamroller trait. Kills any kill, triggers an overrun. Nice! Well, we're not going to attack those troops dug in there. But in any event, we got both those units. Now we need to sweep east towards Sumy, which I think is just one unit. One infantry unit. Third Ver elite troops will move to Sumy. They're going to have 2 armored units in support, so hopefully we can crush them next turn. Meanwhile, I've kind of forgotten about my Stukas over here. Alright, I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. So yeah, we've got 1 anti-aircraft and infantry down near Poltava. So once we reduce Lubny, we will need to send some troops near Poltava. We could also send the troops up at Sumy down toward Poltava as well. They are some of my best troops, though, so I need to be careful about that. I don't want to overcommit to something that's kind of out of the way. I keep forgetting to move this BF-110 forward. We'll move it to the airfield at Prilink so it can support the assault on Kiev. There's nothing south here, right? Yeah, it looks like they're good down there. Right, 0 to 2. 0 to 2. And an overrun. Alright, so we have successfully overrun the enemy there. We are now moving in on Kiev. At least with the bulk of our troops. We still need some troops to help elsewhere. But we're going to move in on Kiev. I need to rebase out of Priliki, and I think that's where the vast majority of the rest of the Soviet troops are. There still are 19 enemy units. Of those 19 enemy units, we know 1 is at Lubny. We know that 2 are at Poltava. We know that 1 is at Sumy. So that's 4 units there. That then must put 4... How many did I say were left? That would then put 15 units in and around Kiev? That seems high. Is there anything north up here that we're missing? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And there's a couple of hexes here I can't see, so it certainly could be possible. Do I have any units that haven't moved yet? Just these 3 troops. The 1 armored unit. We'll reinforce the recon car. This guy's a core unit, so I'll go with elite reinforcements for him. At least I think he's a core unit. The artillery definitely is. The weather's not going to cooperate with us next turn, which is going to kind of suck, but... So, the Civil War game? Which Civil War game they gone? Alright, enemy infantry's coming out of the town to counterattack our pioneers. 4-3, we hung in there. It's raining now. Nice! We forced him to surrender. That was an easy one. Alright, let's reinforce these pioneers. Can air units reinforce during the bad weather? They can. Okay, that's nice. They can't rebase, but they can reinforce. I guess I'll take that trade-off. Okay. So we'll bombard here. 5-1, really? That's how bad it's going to be? Okay. Nope. Probably want to be on the road, right? Maybe they're already encircled. 3-4, 3-3, 3-2. Well, 3-4. That drives them out. We'll go 3-0. Drives them back to our other armored unit. 4-0 drives them back the other way. All right, so Sumy is ours. We can start driving south, I think, toward Poltava. We'll finish off that 1 infantry unit there next turn. Move our artillery forward. I really don't want... to take the kind of casualties that this is saying we'd have to take. So we'll wait till next turn. Move forward to turn number 19. Bulk. Bulk dildos. Thank you for the follow. Alright, let's move our Stuka to the front. Our strategic air as well. Alright, so nothing down there. Why don't you give me an overrun, man? Well, I guess it doesn't matter. Infantry pursues. Alright, we're advancing south on what remains of the enemy troops near Poltava. Rooster 1977 and Whizbang. Like Whizbank. Thank you for the follow. Alright, let's strat bomb these guys, right? Wait, did I move them? Yeah. Well, I guess we have to strafe because I moved my strategic bombers. Alright, these guys are kind of experienced. I'm going to go with the Italian infantry first. I'm going to use them as bullet sponges. We'll move the Italian armor in. I will use them as bullet sponges. Can I swap these in? No. I'll move these recon cars in here to attack as well. 1 to 4, I'll take that. And we'll get the victory and the surrender. And so then we can swing all of our other troops west. I also think it probably makes some sense to move some of our troops to the other side of the river. Right now, all we really have over there is a blocking force. So we probably will want to move some south of the river as well. If only to give us a really more fully formed attack. I'm also... Wow, everybody gets encircled by moving this one unit up here? Nice. All right, let's do 1 to 4. 0 to 5. Wow. 2 very effective attacks against this enemy anti-aircraft. The enemy aircraft is helpless now, so we can go after it with air units. But apparently we don't have enough to... We're not going to effectively strafe them? That seems weird. Alright, so that artillery should finish them off. It does. Move our infantry in here and take the airfield. Move these infantry forward. 2, 3, 2, 2. Alright, so bloodied them up a bit there. I don't want to move that armor into the woods. Yeah, I don't want to strafe over there either. I'd rather use strafing against enemy infantry near Kiev, so I'm going to move most of my air force toward Kiev, and I'll rely on the artillery with the troops coming out of Sumy to deal with Poltava. We're at 73 units destroyed out of 88. There's 2 near Poltava, which means there's about 10 near Kiev, which seems about right. I will do a recon flight over there just to make sure there's nothing I'm missing here in a turn or so. Meanwhile, apparently we also got the... I'll go 1 to 4 against that enemy anti-tank gun on this side of the river. Apparently I also didn't strafe those guys. Mistake on my part. Is the game moddable, they gone? I'm not 100% sure. I think so, but I'm not... I don't know. Alright, we'll move forward to turn number 20. So we've got about 10 turns left. Soviets do counterattack there. Bloody the 29th Vera bit. But there, I don't... Again, I don't believe they're part of our core. Okay. So we've forced that forward enemy unit to surrender. Alright. We'll hit these guys with Stukas. How are they not going to destroy anything? Alright, back these guys out. Move these troops forward here. Alright, so that enemy anti-tank unit has surrendered. We'll pull these infantry back. Advance my tanks. Also move these troops in. Oh shit, I shouldn't have done that. I don't want to put Pioneer troops in a spot like that. Also, why am I not bombarding first? It should be. Alright, these guys will attack here, 0 to 3. They may be in the woods, but it's favorable enough for them. They'll drive them back, then the recon car will pursue an attack. I don't think they're quite in the city yet either, so they're still technically in the clear. Recon unit knocked them out. Said I was going to rebase my other aircraft over here, so we will. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 units there. We've got 12 more to destroy. There's one we're missing, aren't we? What am I missing? There's 2 down here. Am I missing something? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Where the hell's the 10th unit? 10, 11? Well, that's not good. I mean, is there something I'm missing here? Nothing over there. I'm just confused. Like, am I not seeing a unit? Am I missing one when I'm counting? Oh, I am. Right here. This 122 millimeter. Okay, I kind of... Alright, well, I just wasted a bunch of air units there. Whatever. Alright. Crisis averted. It's not the end of the world. Okay, so we'll take that airfield and pursue. These bases that we're taking here at the end are nice. They're supplementing the, you know, our income because we lost so many troops early in the battle. Nope. Need to move one more hex. Okay. So destroyed that enemy anti-tank gun. Also got the airfield at Poltava. We'll be able to bombard with 3 artillery units against Poltava next turn. Our infantry probably will take 2 turns to get into place. But that's okay. Let's also swing some of our troops again to the other side of the river. To beef up our troops on this side of the river. But that'll do it for turn number 20. We'll move forward to turn number 21. We get the 1 enemy artillery bombardment. The rest of their troops remain stationary. The enemy artillery is not apparently vulnerable at all. I was going to say should be vulnerable to bombardment. Not. Moving armor through cities. Probably not advisable. Okay. We'll just go after most Stukas. Does that reduce their fortifications at all? A little bit. Nice. Oh, and they did do a little bit of damage. Also, remember, these troops are completely surrounded, so it looks like they're starting to lose their effectiveness. Alright, we'll do the attack there. Enemy engineers. Alright, meanwhile, Poltava, we're going to go ahead and hit. I don't want to attack there until I've got an infantry advantage. Meanwhile, we'll move these units up from the south. We'll move these units in. Hopefully inviting enemy attacks to weaken them. And we'll end the turn. Also, not being much more selective about how we attack and how we sort of slowly reduce these guys is allowing us to be, I think, more effective. Because we're now building up a surplus of prestige, which will be badly needed in reinforcing these troops after the battle. Alright, so we attack there. Do we force him to surrender? We do. Nice. Fair. We'll pursue across the bridge there and attack this enemy artillery. Nearly destroying it. Not quite, though. Attack air comes in to no real effect. Alright, we'll focus the bombardment on the southern corner of the field. Where we're bringing troops in. We'll attack there and force them to surrender. Swing those troops around. Move our troops into the city. Again, as we strengthen our... We're going to strengthen our encirclement of these guys, filling in gaps in the line. We've still got 8 more turns. We do get a bonus of prestige based on how early we finish, so... It could behoove us to finish a little bit early. But I also don't want to take a bunch of prestige, like a bunch of casualties that cost prestige, if we can avoid it. Alright, so they effectively knocked those guys out. We just took Poltava. We just pursued the enemy troops. And we almost destroyed them. We'll have these guys finish them off. Got him. All right. Victory there. So now we need to move all of this artillery west. And they will come in handy against these enemy troops. All right. Let's go ahead and fast forward one more turn. I'm kind of surprised how ineffective the enemy units are, or our friendly units are, bombing enemy units in cities. I mean, I guess it makes sense, but it's still kind of surprising to me. All right, so we bombed with air units first. Now we'll hit the forward enemy units with artillery. We'll get a 0 to 3 surrender. 1 to 5, I'll take that. 1 to 6, wow. Bolshevikers will advance into the city. Pioneers will also attack. Force them to surrender. Strafe over here. This is really, at this point, it's just mopping up. These 2 units attacking are not core units, so I was a little bit more cavalier with using them. We did lose one casualty out of a core unit there. And again there. bomb, if only to get experience. I don't think there's any way that artillery gets over there in time. But we'll send everybody over as quick as we can. Still invading Russia? Yep. Definitely doing that, Crucian. Never don't invade Russia. That's the lesson all my history books taught me. Always invade Russia. Especially in the late summer. Although I guess technically Barbarossa was not late summer, but still. Makes for a good story. Alright, go bomb those guys. Okay, bombard. Bombard. Nice. So we'll destroy them, get the overrun, and attack again. Nice. Okay. Can't quite get everybody in position here, but I'll attack. Nice. 3 attacks. I attacked with like 5 units all around. All of the attacks were pressed home with favorable odds. And we actually drove them out of the city into a place where they're vulnerable to a strafe attack. I'll move that armor across the river. Got a handful of turns left. Last I checked, we were going to get a surprisingly generous prestige bonus. It was at 36%. It's down to 21, but still, if we can finish this battle off in the next turn or two, that could be pretty nice. Fourteenth Ver. I don't think there are core units, so I will attack there. Alright, so 5 more turns. Maybe we can finish it this turn, although I doubt it. Some of this music feels a little bit Pokemon-y. Not gonna lie. Alright, attack there, drive them back. Get the overrun, unstoppable offensive award. Go strat bomb them. Stuka him. Okay, force them to surrender. Okay, we force them out. We'll go strafe them. Pursue with the armor. Got it! Victory! Right there! Nice! That was a good result for us. The Battle of Kiev at the end there just turned into a little bit of a pursuit and finish up. But we got the victory. Our most effective unit this time was the 15 centimeter SFH. It was not a core unit. It was the Italian unit. Only 20 losses inflicted, but not a single one taken by the looks of it. 25th Ver was the second most effective. 11th Ju-87R. 28th Ver, BF-109, BF-110, BF-109. 27th Ver. We lost a lot of experience points from several of our units. That was a bloody, bloody battle. But at the end of the day, Kiev was a victory, and a good one at that, I think. All right, everybody, and that's going to do it for Panzer Corps II, our episode number 10 of this Let's Play series. The victory at the Battle of Kiev will set us up for the drive on the gates of Moscow. It's a big battle. It's a interesting battle. There were sort of some frustrating moments, and there were some jubilant moments throughout. So that'll be the next video that we take a look at. It'll probably be split into 2 parts. This was taken from about a 3.5-hour live stream on my channel just the other day. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off here. We'll pick it up next time. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts down below. And until next time, as always, this is the Historical Gamer saying once again, thank you very much for watching, and I'm out.